What's up? We're back.
Be back.
Sorry, I'm playing with we're good. Okay, cool. Yeah, wouldn't miss this. I couldn't miss this opportunity. Tucker had some time to hang out with us. I know everybody else is live right now, but wanted to hang out with you, dude. Never want to miss a shot to hang out with Dreadlift.
Oh, yeah.
So much so that when you went to TFX, like Jenny from Dents Updates sent us a video and was like, "Here's your boy," and I was like, "Yes, there's Tucker going." That's what I'm talking about.
I didn't even realize that she was there. I mean, I was so in my own world, and I mean, I didn't even. My kids were running around with her kids. I guess I had no idea. I didn't even know where my kids were half the time. So.
Yeah, she wanted me to tell you thank you so much because her kids had a great time with your kids, and like,
oh, that's awesome.
She loved it. So
that's awesome.
Very cool. How was it? Colleen was talking before.
Oh yeah. So is this the first time that you've had your entire immediate family, like you, your wife, and all of your kids?
They came last year to West Coast, but I mean, we've added a whole nother kid since then. So this was the first year with this grouping, I suppose.
That's the new baby.
Yep, that's her. She's 7 months old, 8 months old.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's crazy.
So this was her first run at it. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Them. They did great.
Did they? I was say, how'd they do? Who did the best? Who had the difficult time?
The little guy has a hard time because he is so free spirited and he just wants to run around. And I mean, when he's at the gym, like they're so accustomed to being here that we kind of let them have some free space as opposed to, as it goes down to like just running around the gym, unless the class is going on. Like if it's just open gym, like he knows where his stuff is, what he can play with, what he can't. And so then he goes to a place like that where it's way more structured. And he's like, well, I'm going to go out there. I usually work out next to Dad.
Oh, no.
Having him in one spot, him kind of understanding those boundaries. It was hard at times, but he's easy enough to like, hey, here's the ball. Let's go play catch over here. Mm-hmm. He was okay. But I would say if any of them, I mean, he's just at that age where he just wants to explore and run around and be free. He don't want to be held or anything like that. But the baby did great.
That's awesome.
The schedule was awesome this year. I mean, most of our events were like, first one is 11 or 12, and then like 3 or 4, and so we were done. So they didn't have to be there super late or anything. They didn't have to get up super early. So the schedule was money. So the baby did great, and then the big kids. I mean, it's kind of
they're used to it.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of old hat for them at this point.
Is the boy the most attached to you? Is that why it's as difficult for him? Do you think, like, when you are in such, because like seeing you, and we'll touch on this, like I'll ask this question again, but like seeing you compete, you're in the zone. And I think that like you can really see how focused you are. And then, your dad, like, so you have to get into that spot of focusing on why you're there. So is he like the most attached to you, which makes it difficult for him to understand that like Daddy's got to go to work right now. It's not the same as the gym.
Yes. Yeah. He for sure is, especially within, I don't know, just seemingly like the last few months, like I have to do everything for him. Like he'll lay in his bed and like, they've got bunk beds and he's got a rail he can't climb out of yet. And like Mom will go in there to get him up. And he's like, no, I want Dad. He won't get out of bed unless I go get him. I put him to bed. He just wants me, and it's awesome. Like he goes with me. He wants just to ride in Dada's truck. Like anytime that I'm doing anything, he wants to be there. So yeah, it definitely can make it hard when he can't be a part of things. But man, it's so fun to have him just be like my little shadow too.
Yeah.
We were talking about this a little bit. Oh, let me say hi to everybody. What's up? What's up, Heidi? What's up, Summer, Slater, Kenneth? Yeah, it'd probably be a little bit of a dad talk show. Of course. We got the biggest dad in the group out here.
Mm-hmm.
Quantity wise, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Did you get to watch any of Syndicate today? You were telling me a little bit.
Yeah, I got to watch a couple heats of I got to catch the tail end of Isabel. And then I got to watch a couple heats of the girls do Regionals Revenge. But I'm going to catch up on the rest of it later this evening.
It was such a good stream. There's so many times, like, I forget, like, hey, they're doing a CrossFit podcast right now, and so many of the words that they would say or the jokes that we make would normally you'd be like, "Yo, that's what she said," and you can't do it on the I was like, "Oh, they can't do it on this one." Like, this is
Yeah, right. It's a little
okay.
buttoned up.
But it was and to see Taylor be a on the floor reporter, like, interviewer, was crazy. He was so good. He was so good. Someone even in the chat was like, "Well, now we know what Taylor's calling from God is to be a sideline reporter." It was
Well,
awesome.
it was cool getting to watch him because they were at TFX. I think he came for Savon to do some of the stuff as far as behind the scenes and whatnot, and just like getting to see him in a different light there. Like he was asking all kinds of questions in the athletes briefing. He was walking the floor with us. I mean, he was like much more official, you know.
Not the Taylor that you
Yeah,
see.
yeah. It was awesome to watch him kind of to flip that switch a little bit.
Did you have a chance to talk to him at TFX or just like in passing?
Yeah, we talked a couple of times. We talked right before the athlete briefing, and then after our brief that Thursday about the events, we went to walk the running course and whatnot. We got to kind of chatting about programming and whatnot a little bit as well. So yeah, we got to have a couple interactions.
Did you ask for any like tips, or are you very much have your own set of like how you're going to break this up and strategies and whatever? Were you bouncing off at any ideas with him?
No, I didn't do that. I didn't want to put him in a weird spot too. And I mean, I had practiced all of the workouts, and
Yeah.
you know, he is a much different athlete than me. I don't know that his strategies would work for me. He might be a little more aggressive on some things. So I just
How did it feel? Was it awesome? Did you have a great time? Were any of the ones like the rope climb one or any of those, did they freak you out at all? Were you like, "Oh god, I have to do this," or because that rope climb thruster one, and then more rope climbs and what was it? Just jerks or something?
Yeah.
It
That was
was
crazy.
legless and overhead, and then it was regular rope climbs and thrusters.
Yeah.
That was probably the one I was most worried about going into. And then the ropes there were, I mean, it was probably a foot and a half shorter than normal. Like we were all able to do all the regular rope climbs in one pull with no issues. So it really just became a race. And like you didn't have to pace for the rope climbs like you normally would if it was the 15-foot rope, you know, and kind of being in the first seat, like we all were kind of going and starting out. This is kind of easier than we thought, but still kind of holding back a little bit because you don't want to fall into that trap of the adrenaline and you hit failure and then you're screwed, right?
Yeah.
By the third heat, they all recognize like, oh no, we know how to do this now. And so
Yeah.
if I could go, that's probably the only one that if I could go back and do it again, I would do it very different. But that was the one beforehand. I was like, this is gonna hurt a lot. But I mean, overall, I think it was the most fun that I've ever had doing a competition.
They were talking in the stream today about how, like, there's a bunch of guys that are there at Syndicate right now. I think Luke Parker is in, his 4th try to get to the games,
Mhm.
and, a couple of guys there
Second or
are in
third
their
time.
2nd or 3rd times.
Mm-hmm.
And so they were talking a little bit even about just like, hey, if you know after tomorrow that you're not gonna make it to the games in this one, you still have a last chance qualifier and NorCal, which you're going to next week, right?
Yep.
So like, do you just kind of like do you dial it back after day 2 when you know that you're not gonna make it kind of thing?
I mean, I can't speak for everybody, but I don't know that to get there, like you can't turn that competition switch off like that to me. Like I'm not just gonna go out there and not try. You know, I might have some other mental battles going on or whatever that you have to work through, but it's not just like, nah, it's over. I'm gonna go run through the motions.
Yeah.
All. Now, if you have to go again next week, maybe that's a slightly different situation. But even like the last day at TFX, and like I'm not going to qualify for the games, but you still have a reason to do your best. Like my kids are there. There's people watching from my gym on the stream. Like you don't want to just lay down. I don't
Yeah.
think that's hard to do, and it's hard to have that mindset at all. You know, you don't ever want to like admit defeat.
Well, and for I mean, for you, but probably for most athletes, like it takes a lot for you to get there. And so why not take the opportunity to go through the entire weekend and push yourself and really challenge yourself? That's the point. Like you worked so hard to get through the first stage, and then you worked to get to the next stage, and now you're here. And so, I mean, you hear all the time, you know, we do as fans, that you don't really know what elite competition is. And obviously we're talking about CrossFit because that's your sport, but like you don't know what elite competition is unless you're in an elite competition setting. So we hear so many times that like you learn so much about yourself as an athlete being put in those situations. So for you, was that kind of your takeaway for the weekend, even when you knew you weren't going to get that qualifying spot for the CrossFit Games? Is like, this is experience and I'm going to learn so much about myself.
For sure. I mean, and at this point, like, and I don't want to sound like defeatist, because if you have this attitude, maybe to a certain extent, like why even show up? But I try to really appreciate this year, especially, is you don't know when your last year is. Like you never know when you're getting another chance to qualify and step out on a stage like that where anyone cares about your fitness or your working out. You know, like that's a very finite window of time for most people. And I don't want to look back at the end of it and be like, God, I did not make the most of it, right? Like I'm disappointed in not taking advantage of the opportunity that I had. You know, just thinking about like at this point, you just do it for the process, which sounds so cliche, but I'm not even really doing it necessarily to go to the CrossFit Games anymore, but just doing it to see how far I can make it. What can I crack the top 20? Can I crack the top 15? Can I make it when I'm 32, 33, 34? You know, you just enjoy seeing what you can do, and where you end up on the leaderboard. I mean, yeah, it's cool, but at the end of the day, like no one's going to remember that for the most part, you know?
Yeah. And you hear people like Bill and Chase and, you know, even Taylor and stuff like that. And they talk about training all year round for something. Like we train the best when you're training for something. You know what I mean? Like I used to play soccer and I needed to train it for the games, for the big games. You know what I mean? That kind of stuff. And if you're going to train all year, you do need something to strive for. So when you get there, it's like, what has my entire year of all the sacrifices, and you've talked about them before, we've talked about them with you before, like how much time you give up and how much you really have to spread yourself thin between your family, your kids, your gym, your marriage, you know, everything like that. And so to sacrifice that much and then to not give yourself the real opportunity to push yourself to that limit would almost be like, what was the point of all the sacrifice throughout the year?
Yeah. I brought our, we have like an in-house PT at the gym, and he actually came with me to TFX this year. And we were talking during the event, and he was telling the story about he worked with this college football coach, and it was right before the season, and they were chatting. He's like, so like, is the hay in the barn? Like, how do y'all feel? And he's like, no, like, F that. What I tell my guys is you spend every day of the off season putting one bullet in the clip. The next day you load another one. The next day you load another one. And the season comes, this is your opportunity to empty the clip. And you better not come home without shooting every shot you got. Because you spent this whole time loading the clip one bullet at a time, one day at a time. And after the first day, thinking about that, like that kind of helped kind of shift. Is like, you know what? Like the first event didn't go the way I wanted, but I've spent so many days freaking loading this clip that I better come home and be able to look at it and be like, you know what? I shot every shot that I could have. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the attitude you have to take.
So you're going to go to NorCal. If you don't make it there, you're going to do, or is that the last chance qualifier? Or is there another?
There's another.
No, there's another one, right?
That's the last in person. And then they have the online last chance.
And so are you going to do both if you don't make it anywhere?
I mean, if I were to make it, I would for sure do it. I think you got to finish top 10 in order to make it to the last chance qualifier. So I have some work to do.
Oh, that's cool.
But, I mean, that would be amazing.
Oh man. Okay. So you have to, does everybody from every in-person that's in the top 10, they get a shot at so 8 people from every in-person? Is that how it goes?
I think that's my understanding of it. And it's the top 50 non-qualifying spots from the online semifinal.
Oh wow.
I think it ends up almost being 100 people total that have access to the online last chance.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a lot.
That's a lot of people.
And they
Yeah.
haven't
Yeah.
released those workouts, obviously, right?
Mm-mm.
Do you know when you get them? Do you get them like a week before, or you have no idea?
I have no idea.
Oh, that's crazy.
It would really suck if it was like a weekend and you literally found out like 24 hours before, and then you had to submit that night, and then you found out the next one's 24 hours before. You know what I mean?
have to
Like
do
almost
them.
like almost a window that kind of mimic
Oh,
like
man.
an in-person competition where, you know,
I thought that was the best thing they ever did with the online like quarterfinals. And then this year I guess it was this year, they changed a lot of it anyway, but they're like, you know what, just do them in any order from Thursday to Sunday, no windows, no nothing. I was like,
yeah.
it kind of takes some of it out of it. Like it takes some of, like you said, like simulating that pressure, that in person, it takes away from it.
Yeah.
Are you taking the whole family again to NorCal?
No, so actually that was my wife's one stipulation to letting me do it, is that just her and I.
Oh, okay.
Yay.
Yes.
That's exciting.
We were counting it up, and it's been 5 years since we've done any like trip just us two.
I mean, with 5 kids, yeah, I would assume.
Well, just I mean it was just the money side. It was crazy to try to bring all of them like kind of last second like this. And she's like, "Nope, I'm not doing it. If you want to go, I'll support you and we'll go. But we're gonna see if your mom can watch the kids, and it's just gonna be you and me."
I love that.
So
Yeah,
that'll be
that's great.
It'll be very different. I mean, and I think I've even told y'all like my attitude is like I'm doing it so they can watch Dad, right? And
Yeah.
so to be in an entirely different environment, I don't know. It's going to be interesting.
They can watch Dad. They're just gonna have to watch Dad
On TV?
on Sevon with
Yes.
it on mute.
Yeah, with it on mute. You might want
Yeah.
that. Yeah, you
Yeah.
might want to put that on mute.
But that's cool. What is it like traveling with all those kids? Like this was your first time traveling with 5. I can't. I have to imagine it's got to be close to the same as 4.
Yeah, it is at this point. I mean, it's just
Does it matter?
No, it doesn't. It's all part of the same routine, to be honest with you. And I mean, I've bragged on my mom and my wife before, but they make it so easy. Like,
Yeah.
especially during the competition. Like, what do you need?
Yeah.
We'll take the kids, whatever. Do you want a nap now? We'll take the kids, whatever. I mean, they're awesome.
In my brain,
What's
I
it-
just imagine you walking through an airport with your wife and 5 kids. Is there any other adult to help you guys out, or it's literally just you and your wife versus them trying to travel?
It depends. We did Miami. We did Wadapalooza a couple years ago, and like my mom and stepdad flew with us, and so we can kind of divide and conquer then. But no, it is. I don't know. Like what I anticipate as close to like what the military would be like as possible. Like there's no room for nonsense. You're carrying your stuff. You're walking with your brother. Hold hands now.
Mhm.
You know,
Right.
there ain't no BS going on.
No, there's no like, Daddy. You're like, nope, I don't have
Nope.
time for that.
Nope. You don't get to whine. You don't get to fuss. I do not feel bad for you. We've got to get from
Yes.
You just gotta take your battle buddies.
You get that
with
shit
you.
at home, not while we're
Yep.
traveling. Like you get all that kind of love when we are home, but
Yep.
not when we're traveling. But I wanted to also just back up for a second because wifey competed at TFX too
She did.
on a team, right?
Yeah. So we had a girl from our gym. She had competed in January with a couple girls from another gym in the area, and they qualified to come back for TFX.
Mhm.
And one of the girls couldn't do it, and so she got invited to fill in for this other girl. And she's like, "Do you think it'll be okay?" I was like, "Yeah, babe, come on, it'll be fine. Do it. You should do it." And so it's her first competition in like 3 years since she basically is not pregnant for the first time since then. So
And they placed, didn't they?
yeah, they got second.
They got second. That's incredible.
That's awesome.
And she's
Yeah.
how many months postpartum?
8.
Wow.
Yep,
I
she
thought
did
I
her-
was boss. I thought I was boss when I did the open 10 months postpartum and I did all the workouts RX for the first time.
Dude, you for sure are. That's all.
That's
I mean,
incredible
crazy.
though.
She
8
did her
months.
first ring muscle up post pregnancy. on Saturday.
Wow.
So yeah, it's been fun watching her kind of get back to her old self. You know, you can see.
How did she feel afterwards? Did she feel good afterwards?
she
No.
she had a blast.
Okay.
We walk in the second day and she's like, I'm having so much fun. And I just looked at her like, are you kidding me? Like, I'm so glad that one of us is having a blast. That is not what I would qualify as. It's like, I can't talk to you right now.
I'm happy for you, but I don't want to talk about this
She's
right
like,
now.
I'm just so happy to be here. I'm like, I am
I'm
gonna
not.
yeah.
So she's fine and you're just wrecked.
Yeah, I'm a very anxious competitor. I'm not there just to have fun. Like, I'm very much in my head about things, and she's just like, CrossFit's great.
How
I'm
do you
like, so
well, because that's why I was asking you before about all of these people that have to compete. Like they competed 4 times in a row already. Like they went to TFX. Now they're at Syndicate. Now they're gonna go to NorCal. Then is there any way by the time you get to NorCal and the last chance qualifier, your body's got to be like you can't train in between those, right?
no, I mean, even this was a strange. Like, it was 18 days from the end of TFX to NorCal. And so I ended up reaching out to a couple coaches too and just being like, hey, what do you think about this? Because this is so strange. Like, you can't just coast 18 days and get there and feel fit, but you also don't have a lot of time to really get better at anything in particular. So it's kind of like this weird purgatory these last couple weeks of, I got to train hard, but I can't train too hard, but I can't also not train at all. It's a weird thing. So I can only imagine what some of these guys that this is their 4th go at it. Like, I didn't even do the online semifinal because it was 2 weeks before TFX. I was like, I'm going to put all my eggs into that basket, but some of them have done all of it. And just the mental
and WFP, some of them doing WFP too.
Oh, the greatest thing ever, and you didn't probably hear it, and we can get back to this, but the greatest thing I ever heard today on the live podcast was Bill Grunler calling the WFP the WTF. Just because they've said it so many times that he would just rattled off in the middle of the thing, the WTF, and I was dying laughing. I couldn't take it. I was like, oh my God. But okay, go ahead. Sorry. But yeah, they've done all the online qualifiers, and some of them have done the WFP. Yeah.
I mean, we were getting briefs for Isabel, and Chris Ibarra was in my heat, and he had done, I guess, he did online, he did WFP, and then he did, I guess, TFX. I felt like there was another thing, and the guy briefing us was like, how many of you have done this more than twice already? And like the look on his face, it was like just pure disgust of like, I cannot believe I have to do this stupid workout.
Oh my God. Yeah.
I was gonna ask you, like, can you imagine having to do Isabel 4 times? So you're gonna do it twice.
No. I've had to snatch 225 so many times over the last I don't know, 6 weeks now that like I never want to snatch again at this point.
After this, you're done.
My pelvis is wrecked.
Oh my God.
So your weekend is not going to be fun with your wife at NorCal.
Not in some aspects. No, she's going to be safe without the kids. Sure. My gosh.
How's your back? Think about that now that we're talking about this. Like, is your lower back, because you have to snatch, then roll the bar forward. And I watched them all do that in the workouts this morning. Both workouts, you have to bend over, do burpees, roll your, like, I was thinking that your hip flexors got to be shit right now.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is, like, as soon as like 3, 2, 1 go, like, you don't feel any of it. At least I don't. And so you can do more than like maybe what you even should do. So like the moaning and groaning day 3 before the last event at TFX, like everybody was like, I'm destroyed. My back is jacked. My hips are jacked. And then 3, 2, 1 go happens and you're fine.
And then afterwards,
you have to deal with the aftermath all over again. So it's not even like the weekend that hurts. It's like the whole
each event hurts, right? By that point.
It's crazy.
Well, when you say that you have done the workouts for TFX, like how many times do you practice a workout? Do you do the workout in its entirety? Do you break it up? Do you just kind of get a feel for the movements? Like obviously you've done Isabel. So did you do all Isabel or did you just feel what 225 felt like? Like how do you practice a workout?
I really like to do a full run through of everything. And if I get to know the order, I like to do just like a simulation weekend of everything in the order I've got to do it, and kind of get a feel for what is one event going to feel like after this one as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think that helps me just like mentally not be scared of them because I
Okay.
already know what the pain is going to feel like. So I feel like that helps a ton. And then after that, you just are, if you know your events, I'm just repeating segments and combinations of all the movements that I'm going to do.
Mm-hmm.
And so
This
like,
was my favorite. I didn't mean to cut you off. This was my favorite when you walked across and you were like, "What up?"
that event was so much fun. Because it was one that like I don't know, I like the couple events before that the day before, I was really paying attention to everyone around me. Like one of them we had the bike calories, and so like just trying to get a read on like who was where and how many I needed to get. And then that event that morning, like I couldn't tell you who was in my heat with me. I couldn't tell you what happened, and I did exactly what I wanted to do. Got to the end of it and like just passed, I don't know, half the field at the end and finished. And it was a really cool like, especially because like you battle like the event doesn't go well and you just feel like, do I belong here? Like what am I doing? And to be able to have a moment like that where it's like, no, like I can do this. Like I've just got to do what I'm capable of doing. It's a really cool feeling. So that was a fun one for sure.
Do you get freaked out when the whatever lane or whatever heat you're in comes out super hot and you're like, I'm not planning on going this fast, but now I guess I have to go this fast? Or are you just like, nah, y'all crazy. I'm not going that fast. I'm gonna just stick to what I know.
I think in my my older age now, I definitely am like, y'all go on ahead. I've done this enough.
I'll
don't
see you in a
need
little bit.
Yeah, you know what? If you can hold that tip of the hat, you're better than me. You can have it. Definitely in my first couple years, I was like, oh nope, I got to chase you.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I've grown out of that a little bit.
I was just curious because you know Ben Smith is in the field at Syndicate, which is really cool to watch. It's
Man,
so
I hope he
awesome.
makes it. I hope he makes it so bad.
Me too.
Me too. I did love, and babe, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Sorry.
I did love watching Taylor. And if you haven't seen it, I won't like spoil alert, but he gets to interview Ben and he looks so nervous.
And
Taylor
so
looks
happy.
and so
Like-
happy, like so giddy, like you just met your hero.
Yeah.
Like and us redheads, we flush when we get, you know, like we flush and we get, oh my God, so red. And Taylor got so red. It was awesome. It was so good.
No, I'm for sure gonna have to watch that. That's amazing.
But just seeing him in the field and you're yelling at him like you want him to, not that he's doing badly, but you want him to go faster. It's like, oh, go catch them. And then you're like, nah, he's 35. He don't need to go catch nobody right now.
He's got a plan. I guarantee it.
Mm-hmm.
He's seen it all.
It's going to be fun. And I'm sure that you got to imagine the people out there competing with him, because they were talking about it, like the young kids that are out there that probably started CrossFit because they saw him do the refrigerator snatches and whatever. They got to just be like, holy shit, I'm in a lane with Ben Smith. Like, you got to be kidding me right now.
Yeah. That's exactly right.
I don't know if we've ever asked you, but have you ever met somebody in the CrossFit space that you were starstruck at? Like starstruck by?
So we have a competition here.
I know, Joseph. I know it's going crazy tonight. We lucked out and got Dreadlift on tonight, so we weren't going to pass up this opportunity.
But thanks for coming over to say hi.
Thanks thank you, Jonathan. Thank you guys. We appreciate you.
Yeah,
Big Ben. I would freak out if I saw Ben. That's the Mount Rushmore. Ben. Oh, you know what? We'll do that after that. Sorry. Go ahead, Tucker.
No, I was just saying we have a competition here called the BCS Classic Bryan College Station, and it's put on by what's his last name? Charlie. I forget, a CrossFit Aggieland, and they've been doing it forever. And so somehow through the grapevine, he knows Rich. And so Rich programs it, and Rich shows up and participates in the event with a partner of his choosing every year. And the first year that we got to go do that, and me and my partner got second to Rich and his partner, and we were right there on every single event with them.
What?
That's so fun.
That was pretty freaking cool. I mean, getting to just be around a guy like that. That you, like you said, just watch. You grew up watching the videos and whatnot.
So was it cooler for you to work out next to him compared to like if you just met him in the stand somewhere and said hello?
No, it's for sure cooler to get to work out with him.
To get to work out next to
And
him.
he's like competing, you know. I mean, I watched a guy run up and like, "Will you sign my shoes?" He's like begging, just like sign my Reebok Nano before the event, and then he's in the lane next to me. You know, like it's super cool to like, I'm gonna see if I can beat you.
It's like put the blinders on. He's just a competitor. Like, don't get freaked out. You know.
Yes.
And for him, he's got to be like, well, I can't let these guys win.
Yeah, no, you can't lose for sure, or you'll never hear the end of it. You know?
Right, exactly.
Tagged on Instagram for the rest of your life.
Mm-hmm.
Who are the ones? So I was thinking about this today, actually, the Mount Rushmore of men's CrossFit. I was thinking you have to put Rich Froning on there. He is like the number one dude, or he's in the middle. I don't know how you rank them, but like when you're looking at the Mount Rushmore, I feel like Rich's face should be the biggest one and it should be in the middle. You know what I mean? You have to put Matt Frazier because of how many times he's won. But then Ben Smith, you have to put up there. Do you put Graham because he's a trailblazer and he won one? Yeah. No, right?
I don't know. It's close. I mean, he's coming back this year doing Masters. He's going to the games. Did y'all see that?
No.
Oh, that'll be fun.
I think he's starting a little YouTube kind of track my journey back to the CrossFit Games thing on YouTube as well.
Oh, that's cool.
I think he'd be an honorable mention.
Honorable mention
for me. I think you'd have to consider Josh Bridges as well.
Yes.
Right? I mean, for the OG back in the day, like he was the first. Like, I don't have a strategy. I'm just going to run my head through the wall as hard and as fast as I can and hope that it goes well.
For sure. I was going to say, oh yeah, no, I don't think so. Noah. Or
now I've got a soft spot for Travis.
Okay.
What does he have? 4 or 5 kids as well?
Yeah, he's with you.
So yeah, he's kind of like the epitome of like, man, if he can do it with 5 kids, I'm gonna keep giving it a crack. So
but that's inspirational for you. That's not like because
no, you're right.
Is that Kalipa? Do you do Kalipa? Is that?
I mean, what he won one time?
He won once. It was one of the
by his whole like I'm gonna do NC Fit thing kind of
right. Okay. Yep. Fair. No, he's out
now on that whole bit. I know he's come back into the folds, but I mean to me that's part of why Rich is the GOAT. Like he's stayed a part of the CrossFit community. He's tried to do everything he can to grow it, and I mean he hasn't gone on Joe Rogan and slandered it. I mean
that's a big.
But see, this is hard for me because Medeiros, like, I want to say he should be because he did win 2 and he is still like going, but he also is not in the community either, which makes it hard for me to want to say Frazier, but you have to say Frazier because he won 5 too many times.
Yeah.
So,
but just because Medeiros won doesn't mean that he like has a place on it. So. Like Rich is different. Matt is different. That's dominance. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So I think it's different.
Panchik.
Scott Panchik would be a good one.
That's fair.
Yep.
I put Panchik up there too.
Yep.
Yeah, Scotty Boy for sure. So
yeah,
there aren't too many yet. We only got what did we agree on? 3?
I mean, I think 3 unanimous choices.
Yeah.
And a bunch of honorable mentions.
Yes. What about like Miko? Like that guy, like he was one of the original ones back in the day that was just like doing crazy stuff in the freaking snow and like the Rocky movie, but real life, right? Like he disappears into the snowy hills and then shows up at the CrossFit Games just year after year after year, and does crazy stuff.
Was he out? Was he in it though long enough?
Shoot, I don't know. To me, it seems like he was there forever, but my sense of time is awful.
Yeah, mine is too. I don't.
Yeah.
I freaking know.
I mean, he got a whole triangle named after him, so that's kind of cool.
He does.
Yeah,
You know?
he does.
He does.
Women.
When you're sorry, but
Oh,
when
no,
you
go ahead.
when you're competing, and you do have and I might have asked you this before, and you have your family there, how are you able to?
I was gonna bring that up, but I'll let Colleen go first, and then
We can go back.
yeah.
How are you able to kind of turn that competitive switch on and then turn it off and then turn dad mode on?
I think looking back at it, that's kind of the thing that I'm most proud of this year is figuring out how to do that the second day. Looking back, like West Coast last year and the first day of this year at TFX, like it was almost like I wouldn't let myself turn on the competitive switch, mainly because like I'm scared of if I do and I fail, like then what happens? It's safer to be like, if you never turn it on, and like I'm a dad, so I got a lot going on in my life. No one expects me to make it, so that's kind of okay. And then to like kind of be able to flip that switch the second day and be like, no, like I am having everything taken care of for me. I have somebody here just to work on me and keep my body in order. I have all my food taken care of. My kids are here. They're taken care of. Go freaking make it worth it. Like, it's okay to shift into like having that identity, be an athlete for this little stretch of time. So go do it. And that's when I had my two best finishes,
Yeah.
And so that's what I'm excited about, getting to go to West Coast or NorCal, because I think that I feel it now. Like I feel like I belong. I know how to do it. And that was I think the first time since I've had kids that I can really honestly, like, I was competing instead of just surviving. Before it was
Okay.
I'm just surviving to get back to dad mode. It's kind of cool that I'm doing it, but I don't want to fully put myself out there because it's safe here in dad land.
So going out on the competition floor with the mentality of it's really fucking cool that I can show my kids this all the time, versus allowing yourself to get on the floor and be like, I've worked fucking hard for this. I know that I can, put the hammer down and go to fucking work and give myself that opportunity. You're saying that for the first time, you kind of felt that for those two events, and those were your best events that you've had.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Victor Hoffer had a really good post. He posted like 6 different thoughts on competition, or I forget the exact verbiage, but one of them was like, nothing will prepare you for the feeling of 3, 2, 1 before the event starts. Everybody feels nervous. Everybody wants to just go home. No one wants to be there, and to kind of like, it's not just special to me because I have all these other things. Like, we are all dealing with that. And if we're all dealing with that, other people are overcoming it, so I can overcome it too. Like, I don't have an excuse. I'm not special. So I better get my butt in gear and like,
Is it
not
this one?
feel bad. Yes.
Yeah.
That post was so good. And I thought that nailed competing to a T. I mean, the one about food and making yourself eat, like, I mean, I'll get so nervous. I'll starve myself for a weekend. And like, there's this comfort in reading something like that to a guy that has done it on the biggest stage. I'm like, no, you deal with the same thoughts that all of us do. And to know that, like, oh, it's not, there's nothing wrong with me. I'm not special. Like, it kind of really helped.
Yeah.
The CrossFit. This means CrossFit loves you. This is the James Newberry tariffs gave us. That was good. My guy's quick. He comes up with some like.
He is.
He's quick.
He is. That's good.
Is there less pressure on you a little bit? Do you put less pressure on yourself because you're always going to go home to those kids? They're always going to think dad's amazing. You're going to go home to your beautiful wife, and like, you have a great life with your affiliate and Razor Ranch CrossFit, guys. Razor Ranch CrossFit. And so there's a little less pressure, or it's just like, no, all the pressure that. to get to the games? Is it overwhelming sometimes, or does it not get overwhelming because you have your kids and your wife?
No, I think it's more of a safety blanket. Like it's a safety net. Like I don't
No
have
matter
to do
what,
it.
you're gonna go home and be dad.
Yeah, you know, and I think it kind of go one of two ways. It can either be an excuse to not fully immerse myself in like the effort, or it can be the motivator. One of two things, you know, just depends on how you want to channel it. And like I said, I think I finally kind of learned how to channel it the right way.
Mom, can we get a James Newberry? No, we have a Newberry at home.
I did used to like when I cheer for him so hard every time he's doing anything, just because I'm like, that's my guy.
He's too cool. And after that bike workout he did at the games where he destroyed himself in the first half of one of the workouts and he won it,
Mm-hmm.
you could not root for the guy. Like,
Yeah.
he's just too cool.
I was wondering if on the bike workout you were gonna just let your dreads go all over, but you tied them. It looked like you tied them tight. You tied
Yeah,
them up
they
tight.
were coming out on the jump rope. I was like, this is going to be a disaster.
How was that jump rope? It was so different, right? Wasn't it?
Yeah, it's stupid. It's stupid. I'll say that. Like I don't understand some of the TFX sometimes does not have the best programming to me,
Mhm.
and they just like that's like their gimmick they do every year is having the jump rope, and I think within certain aspects it may make sense. Like that, it almost made it easier because you had to go slow. By the time you got to the bike, your heart rate was back down again. Like I would have been, I think it would have been a more challenging workout. Make it 100 double unders. Regular.
Gotcha.
It's the same exact time domain as the 40 heavy singles. That's gonna get my heart rate jacked up. Then I'm gonna have to go do burpees, and then by the time I get to the bike, I'm already gonna be in a bad spot.
Yeah.
Versus like the 40 jump rope was almost an extension of the minute rest. Yeah, as long as you knew how to grip it, as long as you did the reverse grip, it was fine.
Your shoulders didn't bother you at all?
No. But even then, like there was nothing else in the workout that was like shoulder. There was no shoulder interference that really even mattered. Like
Not
7
even with the burpees.
No, like 7 burpees, we can all hop. We can bounce ourselves off the ground for 7 burpees.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I just think the way it was put together. If it had been maybe more burpees, I think it would have made a bigger difference, for sure. If it had been a row or a ski at the end, it would have made a bigger difference for sure. But
versus
the
the bike
structure of those 3 things was like, meh.
Didn't really kind of
Okay,
make
that's
sense
fine.
together.
Have you seen?
Not to me.
Yeah.
Have you seen the workouts that JR has programmed for Syndicate? Are you kind of glad you missed that?
I am and I'm not. Like
I was gonna say you kind of were having a little FOMO, aren't you?
I do. Like I've always loved his programming. You know, like I've got a whole folder. Don't tell him I said this. Of like workouts that I've screenshotted and saved of his before he came out with his like paywall. You know, the what's it called?
We prefer the hate. The
we prefer the hate.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he's been one that like if you're gonna tell me to come up with a CrossFit like Mount Rushmore of non-athletes, like I'm putting him on there to me.
Oh, JR's on it.
Or if I met him, I'd be like, that's pretty freaking cool. And so yeah, to not get to do his workouts, I'm kind of bummed. But no, it looks like that regionals revenge workout today. I don't feel like I test it. You know, like I'll never do that unless I have to. No need. You know.
Yeah, that looked awful. Like, and those are always fun as fans. I know not for you guys that are doing them, but it's fun for fans because it's like, oh, they are actually humans. Like these workouts do actually kick their ass sometimes. They're not just so fucking fit that it makes all of us look like we are not fit even a little bit. So seeing the front squats, because you first look at that and you're like, oh, those front squats are pretty light. But at the end, compared to everything else that they've done, and some of them were doing what, singles, doubles, I think a couple people were doing like triples and then dropping it. They just could not hold on to the bar. Like it was humbling to watch.
Atrocious. It looks atrocious.
I'm trying to find it to pull it up, but Spin posts so much that now I can't find the workouts.
If you go on Syndicate's
I went there too. They've posted so much too that everything
I
is.
thought they here. I'll try to find it.
Everything's buried at the bottom. But yeah, I was curious. I saw a lot of people say that when they saw the workouts come out, they were like, "Oof, man, like, nope."
Definitely double-edged sword. Of be cool to do them, but I'm not that upset. I'm not.
Oh yeah, kind of. Yeah, I saw that too. My man Ty Jenkins wrecked the house. Yeah, he did. He wrecked shop on that workout. Regionals revenge.
There you go. Regionals revenge. Obviously they did well, and then tomorrow they start off with yoke repeater.
Nope. 400 meters, 8 rounds. No, I'm not. I lucky if I got 2 rounds.
Mm-hmm.
See, we need to do more running. That's what we needed.
And then the medal march.
Oh, you mean at TFX? You needed more running?
Yep.
It was only the last event that you ran, right?
And it was like a non-factor.
Yeah. It's like they wanted to get you guys outside for whatever reason.
Yeah. I mean, that was kind of it, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, I'm probably a little biased just because that's the kind of stuff that I'm better at.
Running.
And we had 3 barbells over 3 of the 6 events had a barbell over 200 pounds. And we had 1 500-meter run.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
It's kind of imbalanced.
Yeah.
And that's not a complaint. I think it's just an observation. But I look at that workout, I'm like, I want to do that one.
Do you think that it's because
Kenneth, I do not know, but we did the same shit. So I don't know. We've
24/7 right now.
Yeah.
We did the same
pretty
thing.
much.
Do you think that it has to do with the programming that they don't choose to run? Do you think that they take into account like not wanting to always do it on a runner? Maybe they don't have the space outside, or do you think it's a little bit of everything?
Yeah, I think they have to. I think they have to work within a certain set of limitations. In like the venue that we were at, there really probably wasn't an ideal running course, and especially where we were. Like if you have, I mean, if we're running through a parking lot or whatnot, you're just setting yourself up to have the athletes complain anyway. So I can see why we wouldn't do that. But then I also think that each programmer has a natural bent one way or the other towards one thing or another that they just kind of like, or a way they think is the best way to test. And so I think it's probably a combination of those things. I mean, TFX never really has like a ton of running. Usually what they'll do is they'll have like one longer run as like a singular event, but nothing like that medal march that
yeah,
you know, with other things or movements or modalities with it. It's like, oh, we're just gonna run a 5K.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's fine, like that's cool too, but it's totally different to have like 8 rounds of 400 and something else.
So you're loving the first event at the CrossFit Games this year, or are we not liking the first event at the CrossFit Games this year?
I think you have to have something like that. I can get why it's not super sexy or exciting, but I think you have to have something like that if you're going to say, hey, this is the test for the fittest on earth.
It's a run, swim, run all over again.
I was like, hey, babe, this is probably the only year we're going to get to go to the CrossFit Games. Look what the first event is. And she was like, holy hell.
No, I mean, I don't want to watch it.
No.
You know, it's like the marathon row. Like, I'm not going to watch it. Like, wake me up in an hour or two when they're almost done.
Yep. And you can see the last 10 minutes.
I would say at least the cool part for us being there is that we know when it starts. We can walk around, you know, vendor village and say hello to everybody and then get our seats for the last, you know, for the last heat, for the last 10 minutes or so if we want to, and see how everybody.
That's what I've been doing.
Way to do it.
That's what I've been doing with the Knicks lately. Like I won't watch the first like however long, and I'll just turn it on for the last 5 minutes of the fourth quarter so I can see what the hell is happening. But because they're just so annoying that I can't.
So you're New York everything, huh?
Yeah.
Oh no.
I know. It's tough life, bro. It's really tough. And I'm a fan of the bad New York baseball team too. Like I'm a Mets fan. I'm not even and then the Giants, their football schedule came out and we saw what their schedule was and we're like, well, fuck us. Cause that's it. We're going to win 4 games this year. That's fine. Like
the Giants are the rough one for sure.
Yeah.
Just please don't let the Thunder win a title this year. Please stop them.
It's going to be the worst shit ever if the NBA Finals is the Indiana Pacers against OKC. Like that is going to be the worst rated watched NBA Finals of all time.
I need to send it to you. There was a video I saw somebody made of. It was like a preview for the 2025 NBA Finals, and it was like a highlight, and it was just SGA and Jalen Brunson shooting free throws back and forth. Minutes set to like All of the Lights by Kanye West. Is just free throw. I was like, I'm not watching it. I'm not watching it.
This is gonna be awful. I just know it, and there's no way the Knicks are gonna win 2 games in a row. So, or it would be a total of 3 games in a row, and there's no way that shit's happening. So
tough.
That's it. Yeah, Mets are even more exhausting. That is also true. We just spent $700 million trillion on one player that's not even hitting right now. So that's fun.
He'd fit in with the Rangers.
What?
He'd fit in with my Rangers.
Yeah, please, because the Mets are where good baseball players go to die. So that's what's happening right now.
Oh no!
Is she still trying to get the baby to be a Mets fan?
And he's not. He's like, I'm a Yankees fan.
He's a Yankees fan.
Oh no!
Well, someone bought him a Yankees hat. We still don't know who bought him a Yankees hat, but someone bought him a Yankees hat, and he wears it all the time. And then for his birthday, I got him a Mets hat and a couple Mets shirts.
Doesn't wear them.
He wore the Mets hat once, and he only wears his Mets shirts to bed, but he will wear his Yankees shirt to school.
Oh no! Oh no!
God, it's so painful. All right, you want to get to the TMZ portion of CrossFit real quick. I really, really wanted Kale Lehman to show up to Syndicate so badly. I mean, I knew he wasn't. I knew he took himself out, but I was still holding out hope that he would show up. Do you think that was the right call on his part to not go to that?
Yeah, there was no chance he was showing up ever.
Oh,
After Rogue, 0% chance that was ever going to happen. No way.
Or Mayhem.
No,
After Mayhem.
Again. Yeah, Mayhem. We'll never see him again.
Ever. You don't think so?
No. Not after
so
this.
So was it more because he scored so high in the open workouts and then he did so poorly at Mayhem? Because there's been times that athletes have gone to semis and maybe haven't performed the best. You even said there were a couple events for you personally that you were like, shit, I didn't do as well. So was it because of that? Is that where like the big speculation came from?
I mean, if you watch it, like just it wasn't even in the same ballpark.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I mean, everybody in the field finishes an event and you get time capped with 2 minutes left. Like that doesn't look good. And if that happens every single, I'd even understand one event, especially coming like being able to see it kind of from the other side. Like you could have a really bad event, feel really bad for yourself, and look awful.
Yeah.
But to do that every single event and not have a single spot where you look like okay, like I could kind of see it. I don't know. That's a tough look.
Did he finish any events?
I don't know. I know he was last in all of them.
He was last in all of them. But
so you don't think we see him in the Open ever again either?
I don't know. Maybe the Open. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Maybe not.
Be fun.
I'm thinking hot now that I'm thinking about it.
Damn, I want to see it. Did you flip out when Kane came on the show?
I did.
Yeah.
I freaked out.
I did, but he came in as the mayor. He didn't come in. He was like, I had a good WWE career. I'm like, dude, you were Kane. You were the Undertaker's brother. Like, I need you to get a little bit more. Look, Grundler looked happy as shit. Grundler looked like he was about.
Sev looked scared.
Yeah.
Sevon looked scared.
He did. Do you know Kane? Do you watch WWE?
I mean, I know what they're. Did he show up on the stream or something?
He did.
He was talking to him. Yeah.
He did.
No, I have no idea about anything like this.
He's the mayor of Knoxville, so I guess he was. And he's trying to promote like sports in Knoxville, and I think he's opening a new place for people to be able to go play sports or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Megan. Bill looked like, holy shit, I've watched you my entire life.
Oh, it was so good.
Oh,
it was good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see if I can.
He was cool. It was fun. But they just talked about like politics and whatever. I don't think he Did you guys think he knew anything about CrossFit? I'm not even sure he knows anything about CrossFit.
I'd be surprised.
I think he was just there because
right here.
yeah,
Look,
there you go.
Sev looks scared,
He's
and Bill is like a kid in a candy store.
Yeah.
And this is when I got to back it up a little bit because he looks.
I think Seb really wanted to talk politics to him, and Bill really wanted to be like, "Hey, how hard was it to throw around the Undertaker?" Like,
look at Sev. He just looks scared.
it was fun.
Bill is like so excited. It was so good.
That's
And
hilarious.
Bill's looking him dead in the eye too. Like he's not even looking at the camera.
Yeah.
It
Kid
was-
in a fucking candy store. It was so good.
Yeah, he did ask him good questions. I think he was trying to figure out what questions that he wanted to ask him. And yeah, I don't think they wanted to talk about CrossFit. I think Seb wanted to talk about politics.
And he did.
And he did.
And
he got
did.
it.
It was
cool.
a good interview. Bill kind of got all the sports excitement out of his career and blah 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 blah. And then Seb was like, "Can I ask some politic questions, please?"
It's like, so how do you feel about the immigrants in Knoxville? Like, I can't, like,
Oh boy.
yeah, he did.
Straight
did?
to it.
I
Yeah,
missed that
basically
one.
not that straightforward, but like he definitely
Yeah.
asked him that,
That
and
didn't surprise me with him, I guess.
it was fire. It was so awesome. What's up?
Joseph, I said the same thing.
On his
Even on his-
booster seat. Oh no.
Kane is huge, dude.
we were teasing because the way that they had some of the camera angles, they put Sev the closest so that him and Bill looked like they were the same height versus putting him all the way on the other side.
It was cool.
That's
It was
dirty
funny.
work.
I was like,
Dirty work.
Sousa did it right. Sousa did it right.
So NorCal next, just you and the wife going.
Yep.
Hope you have a fantastic time. I really didn't like. I was pumped for you all weekend, and the best part about when you went to TFX is they actually had the camera on you.
Yeah.
Like we got to see you every time you did an event, so that was really cool. I'm sure Sev will do it because Sev's streaming NorCal. So
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. Fun.
you got to win a heat so that Taylor can talk to you and we can like see you on the big screen.
This is the first competition in a long time that I'm going into that like I feel like I'm going there to compete. And I'm
Nice.
hoping that there's actually some results that I have to show for it. You know, not that that's the end all be all. But
Right.
like I said, like now I'm ready. Like let's go compete. Let's see if we can get some points.
So how will this week be for you? So obviously you have another week before you compete. Is it going to be difficult for you? I know you said you reached out to a couple coaches. Do you work with a coach all year, or did you just reach out to a coach was like, "Hey, I just need some support or whatever," kind of not sure what this next week is going to look like?
Yeah, so no, the last couple of years I've really just coached myself, done all my own programming. But I did 3 years ago I worked with Matt Torres. And I
Okay.
loved him. He's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's the greatest one in the space. And so I reached out to him, and he gave me some advice for these last 18 days. I reached out to Dom from Mayhem. He gave me some really good advice. And I love Kyle Ruth. Kyle Ruth, I think, is a genius. So he gave me some really good advice as well. So I kind of bounced some ideas off of them, asked them some questions, and they all kind of had generally the same kind of outline,
Mm-hmm.
which kind of was reassuring. So tomorrow really should probably be like the last hard day as far as training, and then kind of something long on Sunday, and then really start to taper Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then be ready to go.
Okay, so one thing hard, one thing long, and then relax. That's amazing.
So when you say taper off, what does that look like? Is it just, body weight? Is it light barbells for reps? Like, what does that look like for you?
Really, it's the volume. So I'll try to keep the intensity relatively high at what I'm doing. Just not as much volume of repetition and no more double sessions. So I took a couple days off after TFX, got right back into doing double days again, and then have been doing that the last week and a half, I guess. So tomorrow will be kind of like the last double, and then from there, I mean, I'll still if I'm going to do something, I'll try to keep it short and just intense so you feel it. Like I feel better when I don't go long stretches without kind of feeling that pain a little bit. Like I need to feel it to not be scared of it. But I just won't do as much working out, I suppose.
Gotcha.
Kenneth, Jeremy's probably tired. Ken Walters told Jeremy he doesn't like him, so I think that Jeremy might be taking a night off.
I'm sure he's probably in one of the other streams right now,
Oh
yelling
yeah,
at
or he
someone
might be in
else.
there yelling at Ken Walters.
Yeah, I'm sure he's yelling at someone else. So
what else? There really wasn't. We just wanted to get on and hang out with you before you go to NorCal. Who's your who are you in there? Are you in there with some big names? Are the big boys?
Dude, the field is stacked as of right now. I mean, it's got Justin's going to be there. Well, on the heat list, Justin's still there. Colton's still there. I mean, there's a few guys that everyone would recognize, right? If you just said the name, but already have game spots. So we'll see if they show up. But then, it's the entire last heat from TFX. It's a lot of the big guys from Syndicate. It's a lot of people anyone that had a chance to qualify for the games. It's stacked.
Do you think you got well, yeah, I guess you do, right? Like you're resting this weekend and these guys are all now fighting for the next 2 days.
Yeah.
So it's okay. So you're gonna have some fresher legs, some adrenaline pumping still. And
then some of those guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a tough turnaround for sure. Opposite ends of the country as well. So you're traveling one way or the other.
Yeah.
So that's a tough task. The way they set up the year is tough.
Well, I was going to say, you could probably answer this better after you go to NorCal. But this idea of having more opportunities for athletes to compete with such a quick turnaround. Like you said, some of these athletes are competing. Some of them literally have been competing every single weekend, whether it's for the game season or it's for, the WFP and all of these type of things. And that is something that many athletes really fought hard for, was that we need more opportunities for the season. Do you feel that it's going to continue to kind of be like this, where you do see athletes that are signed up for multiple things and then they're pulling themselves out 2 days before?
Yeah, I think you have to. I think you have to try to take as many shots as you can, especially with NorCal. They're not putting the workouts out until the Thursday before the competition starts, like the Thursday night at the athlete briefing.
Oh, so you can't even test them?
Nuh-uh. So you know nothing.
Wow.
Now, if they start doing something to where maybe it's a little more standardized, you get to the workouts in a little more in advance. Like if I know that the NorCal workouts line up way better for me than the Syndicate workouts, I think some athletes at some point will make a choice of, well, I'm not going to do Syndicate because I don't have a good chance there anyway. Maybe I just go NorCal and put all my eggs in that basket. I think you'll probably see some of that. But for others, if you're right on the fringe, you never know. It's any given weekend.
Do you think that that's going to backfire? Because you have these events.
Oh, God, Jesus.
That sounds awful.
That's horrible.
I'm doing 100 WODs in a 100-day challenge with my kid. I don't know if you've seen any of my stories, but I've been doing those. And we had to do 100 burpees one day and 100 burpee broad jumps one day. I think I'm good. I don't think I need any more burpees. Yeah, and I get to thank Bill Grunler for it because he's the one that I'm doing it with his gym, and whatever. The worst one so far was we had to do 100 Turkish get-ups in one day. It was awful.
Me and a buddy did that one summer. Every day for a warm-up, we did 100 Turkish get-ups.
Oh.
And
yours probably didn't take as long as mine did.
It was taking 40 minutes.
Oh my God, it's awful.
It was the dumbest thing we ever did. I did Turk at the end of that summer.
Yeah.
But looking back, it was we were just dumb kids that had nothing better to do.
Yeah, it was awful. But do you feel that this system that they're using for this multiple opportunities or whatever, do you think it could backfire with the athletes? Because you have these people that are setting up these events and they're putting a lot of time and they're putting a lot of effort into making these events really good. And for most of these events, they have those one or two people that are going to bring the crowd. Like Colton, for instance, when he went to Mayhem, he brought the crowd. We went to a local competition out here, Vitruvian Games, and there was a pretty big crowd for Colton, and he came to compete, and everybody knew he was going to win, but he drew those couple more people. You know what I'm saying? So do you think that this is going to backfire on the athletes? Like, if you have these high-end athletes that are constantly declining their offer to these events, do you think these events are going to stop offering spots?
I don't know. I mean, I think I would love to see it go back to like offering more spots. Like if you know, like you got, what was it a couple years ago, where it was like the top 8. There's 8 spots up for grabs. Now I think a lot more people feel like they have a chance. And so if I was kind of on the fence of I either can do competition A or competition B, because there's only 2 spots, so I only really have one good shot at it. So I'm gonna
I get what you're saying.
But if I have more opportunities, maybe I would, I'd feel better about that. I would do both of them. I mean, I think it also is gonna. I'd like to see it make the field deeper overall, because the people that are going to go to all these events are going to have to be. They're going to have to prioritize it more. They're going to have to be willing to invest the resources to travel and to actually do the competition and train for 4 events in 8 weeks. Like, it's just a different. You can't casually do it anymore. It seems like, So I think in the long run, it could develop maybe a deeper field. But the first couple of years, I mean, I think there's going to be some growing pains if we keep it this way.
And then as an athlete, it's this conversation of like, when do you in the season? So however the CrossFit season was before, I mean, mind you, they usually make changes throughout the CrossFit season every single year, but this is a much bigger change.
We were just talking about this the other day so much. Joseph, you're the best, dude. Absolute legend.
But this idea of having, like, you peak for the games. Now, if they're competing all the time, like, would you have to stay peaked for more time throughout the season? And how do you handle that? How does your body hold up to that? Do you think that, I mean, for CrossFit athletes, you were talking about this in the beginning, like, their timeline is short compared to who they are. Yeah, some have gone from teens to, elites and then masters, but not many people can hold on to the CrossFit competitively for that long. Their body just won't allow them to. Do you think that we're going to lose people faster because of these extra competitions that they're trying to do throughout the year?
Yeah, people are going to burn out for sure. For sure. I mean, I think I've done this for a really long time, and so like I've kind of got somewhat of a routine down. Like, how do I taper? How do I do this? If you don't know how to do it, I mean, I'm already like the finishing where I finish and all of those things. Like, I'm beat up. I'm looking forward to not having to do a double day anymore for a while.
Yeah.
But the flip side of the coin is like I feel really ready to compete right now again. I've never had to turn the switch off. I could turn it on to start TFX, and then my competitive season has lasted now just, 3, 4, 5 continuous weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And so to that aspect, I've really enjoyed. It's put a lot of demand on like the outside things in my life, as far as managing stuff at the gym, stuff with my family. Like you're making sacrifices, but you're able to really focus in and be intense for a smaller period of time. But I mean, it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot. This 5-6 weeks in a row of this.
WFP is alumni game of CrossFit.
Well, and I think what they need to do is like they need to combine the ideas, right? Like if we're gonna do the season structure like this, if you can qualify to all these events, go. And then accumulate points for where you finish, and then the people with the most points go to the games. So you have a reason to go to all the events that you qualify for, and then you're still getting a good field at the games. But I mean, I think people have talked about it. Like, you've not incentivized anyone at the WFP to have to try. Like, they already made their money.
Yeah. Well, the
That's
only
a big conversation.
I think the
So
only
what's the point?
I think the only active like CrossFit Games athletes that are going to be able to do WFP and the games are the ones that qualify first in the beginning. Like Colton
Yeah.
qualified at the first event, and so now he can just do the WFP the whole time. But
Yeah.
for those that don't or haven't,
the challengers you're talking
yeah,
about.
they're not going to be. Yeah, they're not going to be able to do it.
No, I mean you can't. No, because you can't put all your. I don't know anyone that's just going to be like, you know what? I'm just straight WFP now. Everyone given the opportunity to go to the CrossFit Games is going to do it.
Yeah, I think so. I would.
I mean, minus I know there's been a few people that are holding out this year for whatever personal reasons, but like if you're here to compete this year and you have an opportunity to compete at that stage, you're going to do that. No one's choosing the WFP over the CrossFit Games.
Do you think that WFP tries to throw a non-compete at them?
I mean, I wouldn't. The way they're headed, it wouldn't surprise me. I mean,
That would shoot themselves in the foot
it would.
because
Sure.
Dallin's not going to sign it.
And
Like Sprague's not going to sign it. Hopper's not going to sign it. All those guys want to go to the games.
Exactly. At the end of the day, like that's what we've all chased, and that's what's the established thing right now. Now, in 5 years, if the WFP is still around and kicking and paying everybody a contract or a salary, like maybe that is more enticing. But I think they've got to prove that can be something sustainable before they can really go like make a wave and steal people from CrossFit.
Yeah. Pat was out. Pat retired anyway, and so Laura was about to be out anyway.
When she was the one too, like she had her own personal reasons for not wanting to compete.
Yeah.
And this was her way of like, oh, like I can still kind of stay relevant. I mean, I think sponsors have a lot to do with it, and you got to do something to be in some kind of limelight. And so her way of being able to do it. Same thing with Pat, you know.
Do sponsors stay with something like like if these athletes just go to the WFP because
they'll go wherever the eyes go, I think.
Oh, okay.
Like if the WFP is able to pull full events and they're getting streams and they'll okay, if you want to go be a sure. You're bringing the eyes to me, so let's do it. But nothing right now is going to compete with the CrossFit Games.
Yeah.
Because it is still the title of the fittest. And you can only get that title at the CrossFit Games.
And it's the cooler fucking event. Like, let's be honest. It just is the cooler event. Like the WFP, fine. Say again, sorry.
No, it's the thing, right? It's what we've all dreamed of as long as we've been competing in CrossFit.
Right.
And I think people would still go to the WFP because we're all fitness junkies. And if like we're going to the games because it's a drive away from us. If like these smaller competitions that we can drive to, like I want to go watch people do fitness for 2 hours if I can drive there and I don't always have to fly to go all these places. Like you're going to have people that are going to come because you have the affiliates that have members that are competing. So they're going to go support, you know what I mean? And like for you, like you had a big group from your affiliate come and support and stuff like that. Like you're going to have people come to these events. So I think that they would still go to the WFP events. It's just the title of fittest is still at the games. And that's still the driving force for you athletes that are competing because that's like the North Star. That's what you're fighting for. Yeah, you get a big paycheck, which is great. But to walk around with that title is on a whole nother level.
Yep. And I think like if the WFP really wanted to do it in a way that they were going to be able to establish themselves, I don't see why they don't start their season when the games ends. Like let that become Wadapalooza and Dubai and all these other out of season competitions. Like, let's just do that instead. And so the athletes have year-round opportunities, do things, make money, do things that can satisfy their sponsorship obligations. Do it that way. Being directly competitive, I think, is not going to go the way they want it to go.
Yeah, and the XFL was a great because then they just tried to bring the XFL back again, and then it failed again. Like that was the second time it died.
Isn't that the Rocks?
Yeah.
Oh,
nobody watches that shit anymore either. So,
in Arlington.
But even Dubai, this last Dubai, I have never seen Dubai be that empty. Remember, Dubai used to have like Annie Thor's daughter, and that's the first time I ever saw it was that when Annie went, and that was crazy.
Well, I think they closed it this year to a certain region. Like I think you had to live within a certain region to
Oh,
either qualify
okay.
or be invited this year. And I think they maybe just went invite only.
Oh,
Oh,
So they kind of limited their own field to a certain,
gotcha.
you know.
'Cause I didn't understand that at all. I remember when they were
Yeah.
giving Matt Frazier $30,000 for one event, and I was like, oh shit, okay, like that was fire.
Stupid money there.
Yeah, crazy.
did you ever do acid bath?
No. Nope.
That looked awful.
Now there's certain things that I won't ever do unless I'm like at the CrossFit Games. I'm not gonna touch it.
Is that true? Dubai was so desperate that they tried to invite Hunter McIntyre. Holy crap. I don't remember that at all, but that's fire if that's true. Holy shit. All right, guys, let's get out of here. It was fun. He's got 5 kids and a wife, and thankfully next weekend he gets to go away with just his wife. And oh shit, he did. That's hilarious, dude. Hilarious.
What a mess.
I know we all have a ton of other podcasts to catch up on and do. Tuck, thanks for hanging out with us.
No, thanks for inviting me.
Thank you for reminding me. Like,
Did you forget about me?
I really didn't.
She's like, no, it's next Friday. I was like,
what?
that's not the way
Nope.
the message sounds. It
really
sounds
wasn't.
like this Friday because you said it last week.
It did.
When he
It
was
really
at
did. And I know I wanted to get you on before NorCal, so it made total sense why it would be.
All right, Kenneth, last question.
Yeah, one last
What you
question.
got?
What's up?
Kenneth has one more question for you.
But yeah, I failed miserably on keeping track of your DM. Like miserably failed at that. I'm usually really good.
Usually I'm awful at it. So
And that's why I keep on top of you. Pause. But like I'm like, yo, Tucker, where you at, bro? And I did not do that.
You guys ready to take over for Sev all week when he has to go full recovery mode?
No, man, he's doing this
No.
again next week. He's gonna be he's doing all of NorCal next week, isn't it? It's next week, right?
Yeah. They're literally
So
packing up their shit.
they're just turning around, going back and starting
everybody's
all over again.
traveling.
So I
Yep.
probably they're gonna have 85 million podcasts that weekend too. So maybe the week after that, I'll be ready. I promise.
No, I think he's saying like his morning shows during
Oh.
this coming week or whatever.
Oh, good Lord, no! I got to work in the
No.
morning.
Yeah, we
if
can't.
we lived on the West Coast, I could do it, but
that time slot is
I'm
literally
usually
when
at
we're
work.
both at work. So
and it's summertime. People are eating right now.
they are.
So,
They are.
but
So,
yeah, thanks guys. Thanks for hanging out with us. Joseph, thanks for making me laugh, dude. Kenneth, all you guys.
go check out Tucker. He'll be at NorCal next
Yeah,
weekend.
go support.
And then we'll touch base and connect with you after NorCal to chat about how it went.
Yeah.
yeah, let's do it for sure.
All right. Bye,
Tell
guys.
wifey we said thank you.
I will for sure.
Deuces.